And hello. Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday.
And what does that mean for us on Tuesday?
What's up, brother?
Allison. What's that mean for us on Tuesday?
It means I have lots of concealer on under my eyes because I stayed up late.
What did you do last night?
Watching the stupid soccer game that was terrible.
Was atrocious. I could have played better than them.
I didn't even watch it.
Oh, it was awful. I almost texted you and said, stop watching because you hadn't watched before. Watched England?
No. I watched England, but I didn't care. Apparently, if I wear an American flag sweater, we lose.
But you know what? All is well. We matched today. And so it's fine. But next time, if you've not watched a sport before and there's like entry into the Elite Eight or some such, don't watch it.
Well, on the bright side, we as a nation can now stop pretending to care about soccer.
Some people care about soccer.
I mean,
I'm a fair weather fan, so I don't really give a rip about soccer, except that my husband likes to keep it on because he played soccer. So he cares all the way through until
he'd be like a tree falling in the woods.
But can you imagine if he were the goalkeeper and you had to come up on that goalkeeper?
Oh, was he goalie? A goal? Hey, we could have used Chris Shaver last night instead of that goalie. What's his name? And why do he stink so bad?
Buffy. I don't know what his name is.
I mean,
Matt Turner.
Matt.
Or excuse me, Matt Freeze.
Oh,
he froze.
Matt Freeze.
We couldn't listen. We couldn't play soccer at that level. We get it. But Belgium kicked our tail. They could have. It's kind of like the basketball team. Chris said it was like we were getting beat 40-0 if this were a basketball game. I'm like, it's true.
Somebody tweeted, okay, Belgium can have bless you. Belgium can have soccer, but let's see them try to meet Derrick Henry in the B gap. We'll see how that goes. They'll get run over in a real sport. In a real sport.
I mean, yeah, it's true. You literally, if you want to learn how to play soccer, just go run at top speeds for about 2 hours. And then you know how to play.
Last night, that's all I could think of is y'all have to be exhausted.
I mean, like probably the test to be a ref is to shave your head like JP and practice wearing the little speaker with the camera on your face and then run. Just run until they say stop. But that would probably be after that person's already dropped dead.
I
think everybody would get a red card, so just I could get a breather.
That's actually
red
is
card.
That why they flop?
Is that
why? It's like everybody take a breath. I'm just gonna lay on the ground and roll around like a girl.
Yeah,
I'll give you a second. Mm-hmm. You know what else I got mad about last night?
What'd you get mad about?
It's exactly why Saban, everybody says, don't go out and talk smack before a game because it really fires the other team up.
Don't do it.
And Donald Trump talked some smack. The smack herd wound the world. And they were fired up. And then all the rumors about them wanting to cancel and not play and forfeit, whatever. You shouldn't have. You won. So hats off. But I just got mad. I'm like, why do you do that? Why couldn't Donald Trump make the call and then just not talk about it? Because then it became political and the whole world got involved and everybody hated us. And then we just.
That's not his Holy Spirit spiritual gift. Silence is not his gift. So, thanks, Donnie.
So now, who are y'all rooting for now?
The other teams.
No.
I don't care.
No, you do. You want Norway to win.
That's who we want to
win.
Why? Because their flag is awesome.
No, they are the whitest team out there.
Wow.
And we are just going with it. Because we are hated. And so I just want the whitest team to win. I'm not kidding.
Hey,
Is that bad?
No.
No.
Not necessarily. I just find it funny you just said it so bluntly.
I mean,
I like their flag. They got good colors. No, they're the whitest.
No, I mean, and that's what they were saying, that this whole every team, you look at England and it's majority black, and you look at, all these, and they said the political messaging of FIFA was that, there are no more white countries. Western civilization is getting taken over, that it was very symbolic in the imagery of it. So I'm just for the white team.
Makes sense.
SMH.
Let's be honest.
Okay, well, Pride Month's over and we can stop watching soccer now. So.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Chris from Starrett just commented, "Go Whitey."
Look, we have Black History Month, we have Black Entertainment Television, we have Hispanic Month, we have Pacific Indonesian.
Yeah, there's that.
We have Pride, Gay, Tranny Month. What else do we have?
We have chocolate cake month.
Oh, I do have chocolate cake in my car.
I brought some treats too.
Okay, good.
Well, we can't tell that.
It's probably going to melt.
You maybe need to get it out. Anyway, yeah, so there's lots of
Whitey.
months. Okay. Allison.
So we know what one half of Amy Beth's rooting for. What's the other half? Which team is the other half rooting for?
The ones who run the fastest and can get the most goals in the
all right, here's
goalie box.
Left. Spain.
Okay.
Spain is playing Belgium, I think.
Okay, I like their chocolate.
And then Norway's playing.
Okay. They have beautiful tulips.
England.
That's Holland.
Wait.
No, you're not for England. No, you're not, because they've lost their way.
Yeah.
Bunch of losers. Who else is in it?
Who else is in it? There's 8 teams. I've only got 4.
Probably from España.
Yeah. Okay. So Spain beat Portugal yesterday.
Okay. So we got France is
Colombia.
playing. France is playing Morocco.
Oui.
Oh,
mon chéri.
Stop there.
French bread. Croissant.
You choose the Muslims or the skinny jean wearing soy latte Muslims? You want Muslims or the gay Muslims of France?
All right, keep going.
Okay.
So we have oui, mon chéri.
So France and Morocco, Spain and Belgium, Norway.
Whoa, slow down.
Moroccans will kill you. Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
They're Muslims. Spain and no.
Yeah, Spain and Belgium.
Okay.
Espanol and Belgium. They have beautiful lace in Belgium. It's a beautiful country.
Who are we for in that one?
All right, hold on. So are we for Spain and Morocco?
No. It's France or Morocco.
Okay, Morocco?
I'm going with France.
We got to go with French, even though we got to beat the Muslim country. At least the French are still in denial.
Je suis là. Okay.
Spain and Belgium.
Spain.
Okay,
stop.
You're going too fast. We got to choose.
Or say like my granddaughter says,
France.
Pop.
Spain and Belgium.
Spain.
Pop in the name of love. Spain and Belgium. I am going to choose Spain.
Why?
Because Belgium beat us.
Because Belgium beat us.
And they're a bunch of crybabies.
They are such crybabies. Yeah. So what did we just say we picked?
Spain.
We picked Spain.
And we picked France before.
I think we should write it down.
France, Spain, go on.
We're for all the
pretty teams.
Yeah,
go.
Okay, go ahead.
Norway and England.
Norway, duh.
Yeah. England is a Muslim country.
All right. And then these next 2 games will determine who else makes it to the Elite
Are they playing right now?
They're playing today.
Who?
One plays in an hour. Argentina and Egypt in an hour.
Oh, I'm for Argentina.
Go Argentina.
Because Egypt treats Christians like they live in garbage dump areas. And it used to be a wonderful country. No to Egypt.
And then last one, Switzerland and Colombia.
Oh, they steal people in Colombia. Although we had great neighbors in Florida that were Colombian. And they were like, when we lived in Colombia, we would sit around all day because we had people who helped us. And you would not have to do anything if you lived in Colombia. You wish you lived in Colombia. And I'm like, yes, I do. But not really, because I don't want to get kidnapped.
It's not We went to Bogota.
You would get kidnapped.
No, we went to Bogota, and actually, it feels safer than downtown Birmingham. There are machine guns everywhere. You're like, we're good.
I love Central South.
As long as you don't get shot or do anything wrong, get put in jail.
See, you need me to go with you because then they think I'm from there. No one knows where I'm from. I'm like a calico cat, and I just kind of blend in.
You are multiracial.
She's multicultural.
I'm multi-ethnic.
You could go anywhere and probably claim citizenship.
She's Italian. She's Colombian.
I'm very, very Italian.
She's black, white.
She's kind of
Hispanic.
Yeah.
Iranian.
I'm Hispanic.
Yeah, she's Iranian.
Yeah, you can
obviously.
Or Persian, we should say.
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Persian.
You're Turkish.
Hey, they thought I was
Turkish delight.
Actually, you know what? Some say I am a delight. I don't know. But they did think I was from that country. It happens everywhere I go. It's kind of funny, and I'm like,
you have good accents. You could fake it.
She's from Britain.
Accent.
Yeah.
I am from Britain.
Okay, wait. Did we go through all of them? What are the other two?
It's all the games.
Are you originally from England? Jolly old England?
My maiden name is Akers.
Oh, you are from jolly old England. Did you have a castle over there?
Both sides of my family are from either Britain, England, or Wales.
Of course.
So I'm pretty pasty white.
Yeah, you are. I wonder if you knew my Chris's family, the Cowarts over there. They probably were friends. Yes, sir.
There's a branch of my mom's side, I think, that came over from England in the 1600s. But the main branch is Ireland, and then the main branch of my dad's is German. So
you look
if you
German.
Couldn't tell. You do look.
The plots came from Germany in the 1730s.
Gesundheit.
To North Carolina and named the North Carolina state dog, which is the Plot Hound.
I did not see that coming.
Okay. Well, hold on. My family is related to William the Conqueror. No lie. And Davy Crockett.
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
How does that go?
Davy,
born
in the woods.
I should know this.
Rocky top tune detected, opinion rejected.
Well,
what did he just say?
He was rude, and we're going to just overlook it. The Bible says it's loving to overlook a fault, and we're going to overlook that fault.
No, not to y'all. The Rocky Top,
Mr. Man.
Rocky Top. I can't handle.
Don't tempt me
with a good time.
You know that corn from a jar? It's not really corn, Abs. Found that out later in life.
I was that day old, years old when I learned that. Okay. So, all right. Well, we've got all the whole rest of the soccer match, soccer tournament mapped out. And what do you think? Do you even watch soccer? A, and B, do you even care who wins? Okay. So there's that. Then there's the rest of this. The rest of it is it's going to be a spectacular day because it's Tuesday, and that doesn't just mean yammer or a montage. It means that we have allegedly, and we have a guest. Her name is Eden Gordon Hill, and she has a spectacular resume. All right. But she's coming on because we're going to be talking book clubs and patriotism. And she has a great article in the Washington Stand, which is brought to people by the Family Research Council. So we have that as well. The rest of the week is packed. It's all the things, but it wouldn't be the start to our day unless we did this. The word of the day.
Three, 2, 1. By the way, can I just say, yesterday during the break, we played the 4th of July show, and I just look up during one of our breaks and see y'all in y'all's wigs going. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Oh, it's the word of the day.
That's hilarious.
We actually had a great response to the 4th of July show.
I don't know why you're surprised.
I had last minute doubts, but then I think we just, you just go with it and you own it. And it was a blast. What was it Scott Buttram said?
Scott Buttram retweeted the live stream the day of and said, it's 10:21 a.m. and my day's already made.
Yep. That's about the time we were dancing in wigs.
Just about.
I mean, the wigs we need to bring them out the next time we feel really, really sad, particularly about the state of the world. We just need to throw those on.
They're right there. I'm putting them in our costume closet.
You guys,
starting today.
We're a real show. We have a costume closet. This is spectacular. I've used that word 3 times sometimes.
Did you ever dream?
No. All right.
No, we did dream about it, but I never thought it would actually come true.
No, there's so many things.
Remember
about
all your
this.
what are they called? Parodies?
Yeah.
All the skits. Like when we first started this whole endeavor, you were like, someday, like Rush.
I do. I remember that too.
Oh no, this was like 5 years ago when we were starting this. But yeah,
do you remember,
she's always
the first week we started here, she said that same thing too.
I mean, we did it.
Like maybe day 2 or 3.
Yep.
Well, they're funny, which is why I sent that other thing to you last night and you said OFC. Because I think that'd be a wonderful way to approach that subject. And I am being
Hold on, I missed that. What is it?
I'm going to show you in the break and you're going to laugh your butt off. But JP said we could do this and we're going to.
Okay.
It's taking on one of our toughest subjects, which we take on often. But this guy does it in a great, very JP, think clown world, smashed up against a deep subject.
Sounds like our type of thing.
I mean, if we're in all the way. There's no sense in doing something if you're not in all the way. All right. Here's the word. This is a word that does not describe us or our show. This word is a formal word used to describe something that is done without energy or enthusiasm.
Dull.
Because of habit or because it is expected.
Doldrum.
It starts with a P. JP, I have a feeling you may get this word. Starts with a P, ends with a Y.
I don't know.
Play KTC.
Not a word.
Brad, text me. Wait, means you do it expectedly?
Mm-hmm.
Like dull?
Like dull.
Like but
without enthusiasm. You did it because it's expected.
Passively.
No.
Does it end with Lee?
Mm-mm.
What?
O-R-Y.
Poorly.
Poorly.
Perfunctory.
Oh, never heard that word.
Oh.
That is not how we do our jobs.
I do like that word.
Isn't that a good word?
That is a good word. It's perfunctory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Use that word in a sentence today, y'all. Tell them you heard it here.
Okay.
Also, at the same time, you tell them about our show. And
That'd
you
be
help like,
great.
share, and spread it. Okay?
That'd be great.
We thank you. All right, JP.
All right.
Maybe today's the day I finally get a Gen Z word of the day.
Gen Z word of the day.
It's all you. I'm going to sit back.
This is a feeling of embarrassment or discomfort. Example, quote, watching Annie try to talk to James was so
Cringe.
I
got one.
She did it.
I think I can go home now.
That was good.
You can sleep well.
Cringe and perfunctory. Being a perfunctory person is so cringe.
No cap.
I'm going to cry.
For real.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's
that
a
was,
lot.
you know what, Abs? That was based.
That had some riz. And mainly because you were spilling the tea of truth.
Mm.
Yep.
Skibbity.
Toilet rules.
Toilet.
Okay.
I don't know why the toilet comes in there.
I couldn't say.
Every time. All right. Now, y'all go first because I got to go grab my story.
Oh, shoot.
Wait.
I was writing this one.
Does that mean it's time for Yammer?
JP, I sent you a video. Can you hit it?
Here, give me about 10 seconds or 20 seconds to cue it up.
So here's my story. Israel donated some of the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is super cool, to the Museum of the Bible up in Washington, D.C., which, if y'all haven't been, it's pretty cool. Okay. There's lots of stuff. Just set aside an entire day. So Israel donated the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is cool. Good to go see it. There's only a few of them. But allegedly, on the display, they said that they could not use the dating of before Christ.
I got the video whenever you're ready.
Hit it.
I'm sorry.
We had to use common era. Well,
maybe that was a slip of the tongue. Because that is an error.
No, common era instead of BC, because of course Christ is in the term BC.
So what's the point of that? Why would Israel ask them not to use BC?
Because, I mean, you and I know this answer, but they don't think Christ has returned. So it couldn't possibly be before Christ. It would have to be based on common era. But you ask a very good question off air when discussing the story about timing. So what do we base our time on?
Yeah. I mean, if Israel says, hey, it's, what's today? July 7th, 2026. Well, then you believe in Christ because our entire calendar system revolves around him.
Oh, silly Allison. That's when the common era began. Of course.
I mean, I guess I just don't like that. I just think it's weird and it's not a good look. And then it reminds you of the differences, why there's a Jewish religion and a Christian religion and Christian faith, because there are differences there. Cool. You can go see the Dead Sea Scrolls. But I don't like that we're taking Christ out of the Museum of the Bible.
Yeah.
If it's a museum, I'm just going to put this out here and I'm probably meddling, but if it's a museum of the Bible and God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, don't you think he could have provided for some extra money so you don't have to take BC off of what you've done? Instead of people who say, well, actually you have to change the calendar that was split in two by the birth of Christ. Now you got to pretend that didn't happen. Wasn't there a better way to get some funding? Could be me.
Weird.
Do you want to go next or me, Abs?
Hoover's, here's the bright light in the soccer debacle that was yesterday. Chris Richards is from Hoover, and he was one of the defenders on Team USA. My husband happened to go, his father was a couple years ahead of him at Birmingham Southern College. And we just wanted to say bravo to Chris Richards, even though we're bummed that things didn't turn out the way we wished. You did a great job. You had an incredible soccer tournament. Every time we watched the game, you were one of the names they mentioned over and over again. And we just wanted to recognize that. He's just a distinguished soccer player. A captain. He was U.S. Soccer Male Player of the Year. Just absolutely incredible. And we wanted to say, bravo, sir. We're very proud of you. And I know that you you just did a great job. That's all. I don't know how you run that much.
Yeah.
But you did. And we're proud.
My turn. Sonny Hostin, did y'all see this? What she said for America's 250?
Yes.
No.
Sonny Hostin feels unsafe near American flags.
Help!
On Monday's The View, Hostin revisited her 2021 comment during a talk about America's 250th anniversary in a photo of Patriot Front, aka the SPLC, members on a DC Metro train. She explained that a section of the country equates the flag with white supremacy, though co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin stressed it belongs to everyone. Here, we'll play this quick clip. Here.
You know how you have to wear garlic to get rid of I don't know, monsters? You know, I don't even know which kind of monster you're supposed
Vampires.
Vampires. Maybe we should just keep the flag on us at all times to ward off the silliness. Also, the lady in that picture was fake, but the lady had just been captured on camera with her pants down.
She was peeing on the train.
Exposure. Stop it, y'all. Just stop it.
I mean, I don't know. When I saw the Patriot Front marching, I figured the SPLC ran out of fireworks, and that was their celebration for the 4th of July. It was marching the streets.
This is from now on, everywhere we go.
Just
libtard.
Away. And if you don't like it, find somewhere else to live.
And they'll go.
Demon. What snowflakes?
Also, don't you make millions of dollars a year to complain?
Yeah, and your big fancy earrings and your nice top sitting up there on that nice big set.
What exactly are we celebrating?
I can't even say it. We got to go to break really fast. We'll be back.
To the podcast. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair. And today we are joined by a lifelong friend. We've known each other since we were 5.
Scary.
It's very scary. Excited to tell your story, though, because it is incredible. Twists and turns.
A couple.
Just a few. We're going to end up talking about what you're doing now, which is helping a lot of people. But I know your story will, too. So, Bobby Holditch.
Yes, ma'am. Nice
one
to
of
be
my
here.
oldest and dearest friends.
We've known each other since 5-year-old kindergarten, literally. Went all the way through high school, and
here we are.
That is crazy.
Yeah. There's not too many of us still around, unfortunately. I mean, there's quite a few, but a lot of them moved away. I don't mean dead.
Oh, I was like, you're not that old.
We're not dead.
No, we're not quite there yet.
Jeez, so they need your assistance more than ever then, if that's the case. But it's very nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you. And I'm excited to also glean some information because I've kind of gotten into the longevity. It's a whole process of kind of relearning how to live.
Yes.
And I think we'll get there, but you have a really interesting story to start with.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to.
So when we were on the phone probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, you said that rock bottom was under a bridge.
Yeah, that was about as bad as it got. So, I grew up a Christian, obviously, in a good home and a good school. And when I found my 20s, I decided that alcohol made me into who I wanted to be instead of who I was whenever I was consuming it. So it became a problem pretty quick. I spent a good 20 years with maybe 2 years of sober in all of them, where I was not. Now, most of the time I just drank a ton after work, and like, a lot of people, it starts off a few beers here, a few beers there. And in the end, I spent 2 years homeless. I was living either in my car under bridges or in homeless shelters or recovery houses and places like that. And I would cycle in and out, and I drank a lot. Did a lot of other substances with it as well. But I would, when I lived in Brunswick, Georgia, not the time I got sober in Brunswick, Georgia, but the period of time before that, I spent about 8 months living under the Jekyll Island Bridge. I still go back there every time I go to Brunswick and go look where I slept. We would walk about 1.5 miles to the Western supermarket about 7 o'clock at night when they were throwing all the deli food away, and we'd pick out what we wanted and take it back to our little hole and eat it, along with our bottle of whatever we were drinking that night. And that went on for a very, very long time. Alcohol pretty much ruled my life for a very long time of it.
I know exactly where you're talking about. I've driven by there several times. I am curious, is there a point you look back on where you can pinpoint and say, I knew then I had a problem?
Yeah, I worked for FedEx for about 5 years. I worked my way up to a senior manager with them, and I was a casual business functional alcoholic. I was always very good at my job in a lot of ways. In some ways I wasn't, but I drank at night and worked during the day. And then somewhere along the line, a switch got flipped, and I started drinking during the day and during at night. Like I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and have a half a pint of vodka and go back to sleep, and then get up at 9 o'clock and go to work and stop at the liquor store and buy another pint of vodka and drink it there, and then drink one at lunch. And so anyway, long story short, I ended up passing out in my office. and none of my employees could wake me up. My first wife had to come get me out of the floor and make me get up, and my career was officially over. They allowed me to resign. They didn't do anything other than that. They kept the only thing that survived my alcohol period was my resume, because I was lucky that people were merciful with me. But I knew I had a problem then. I just didn't want to deal with it. And my life was so quote unquote miserable that I didn't see any other way to live other than to stay numb to all of it. But I got one DUI in, oh gosh, I want to say it was 2008 in Statesboro, Georgia, which is a place you don't want to get a DUI. And then I got a second one about 8 months later, and that was my turn, where I was sitting in jail, and I think I told you about this. They had me in the Fulton County Pretrial Detention Center, and you've probably seen a TV show about that recently. What a zoo it is. It's not exaggerating. I was in there for 17 days. Everyone had written me off. No one was coming to help me. And I had a pair of running shoes with no socks and a hospital gown. And I was in there with 400 other males. So you can either cover one side of your body or the other with a hospital gown. You have to pick which.
That's a dilemma.
Yes. So about day 5, I was sitting on the top.
Welcome back to The Right Side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. I realize probably half the time I never say that we are the right side, but there's a sign behind us. And so in case you ever wonder, it has our names on it in the right space. So JP, before we get to the montage, good sir, how about you share some of those comments with us?
Well, also first, we should probably make an announcement, because we've got a new podcast playing in the breaks, but our newest podcast with Bobby Holditch came out this morning at 6 a.m. I'm going to drop a link to the full podcast on YouTube in the comments on whatever stream you're watching on. But yeah, that is out this morning. It's a great story of overcoming addiction and now leading other people to healthy lifestyles. You don't want to miss it. So that's what's playing in the breaks is our newest podcast. But y'all go click the link and check it out.
Thank you for that. I cannot wait to go re-listen to it. It was just fascinating sitting here listening.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there are many people who struggle, and we hope will be encouraged to either seek help for themselves or to know how to live as a family member, because you're living with somebody who's trapped in addiction. So that trapped is a wrong word. Stuck.
Yeah.
In addiction. So.
John from Minor on the YouTube, he says, Jesse Lee Peterson says July is White History Month.
Really? All right, Jesse Lee.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It is now.
But we can claim it.
Chris from Stared on the YouTube as well says David Crockett, born on a mountaintop in Tennessee, prettiest land you ever did see.
Davy Crockett, King. Is that the rest of the song?
I guess so.
Born
on a mountain.
Now I got to Google's it. Hold on.
It's good.
How does he know that? And this Tennessee girl doesn't.
Also, Ian from Hartsel on the text line says we got beat by a bunch of waffle munchers from Belgium.
Belgian waffles.
Pretty good.
That's good. Everybody's real quick this week.
Right. But you know what? Thank you. I am reminded of my very sophisticated childhood now.
With the little record player with the tiny records. Do you remember that? Playing that and listening to the song that went in with a little picture book, and you would flip it and it would go pling, and then it would still read you. Like, do y'all remember that?
Hard right now.
Do you not remember having the little record player with the books and the records that went with it? Oh, it was like magic. And that song played.
So would it tell you to like turn the page?
Yes, it would have like Tinkerbell's bell. Pling, and then you would turn the page and it would continue to read the story to you before you could actually read.
Was that on the little Fisher Price record player?
Yes.
Cute.
And that was one of the books and songs. It was about Davy Crockett. I am flashing back. I'm sorry. I am getting my life together.
I bet our childhoods were all really different.
Yeah.
Well, why'd you say that so
that
quickly?
Was
because I'm Gen Z.
What is that? Okay.
What does that mean?
Okay.
Because I'm Gen Z.
Okay.
Like what? But what does that mean?
Wouldn't y'all agree my childhood would be way different?
But what does that mean? Did you ride your bike to the hop-in and get fake cigarettes and Mountain Dew slushies?
Not fake cigarettes, but I mean, I did get skidded knees from riding my bike with friends after we ding-dong ditched our neighbors. So, like,
that was our childhood. We were basically the same.
Yeah, but I also had iPods and Chromebooks and Xbox and...
Yeah, we didn't have that. We had the first generation Atari.
Oh,
you could play one game.
64? Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Yep.
Where you could play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Contra, Super Mario Brothers. That was about it. Mm-hmm. And you were like older. You were like Frogger.
I was Frogger. And there dang it, what was the other game? There were like 2 games you could play. We did not have those games. My mother didn't believe in them. Mm. So I had to go to friends' houses to play those games, which is why I stink at video games, except Pac-Man.
I remember when my friend Emily got cable and MTV.
Ooh, MTV.
And we were like, you're going to hell. It was so scandalous, that MTV.
Mm. Radio killed the video star. Video killed the radio star.
Backward, yeah.
By the way, Chris from Starrett says he knows that because he's from Knoxville.
Chris from Starrett, why you never tell us this?
That was completely holding back. Wait, you were gatekeeping.
What part of Knoxville? Where'd you go to school? Did you grow up there? Did you go to high school? Who were your friends? Do we know the same people?
Do we know each other?
Are you from Maryville?
Did we live next door?
Yeah. Were you my neighbor?
Are we long lost siblings?
Yeah. Chris, you must write in. We won't say it on air. Gotta know.
Okay. Well, cool. All right, then.
Yeah, ready for
that was
montage?
Your daily flashback. Now it's time for montage.
Michael Hughes.
HUD just put out a report and found that between 2021 and 2024, the foreign-born population in our country in just 3 short years is 6 million people, which is the most in that period of time in American history.
I just got done taking my son to the doctor, and they tried telling me at the front desk that I don't have access to his patient portal anymore because he just turned 13. Are you kidding me?
They're dumb. They're Democrats. They have the worst policy of anybody. I watched that thug that's up in Maine. He's a thug. And they're trying to make excuses for him. I mean, he's worse than any human being that's ever run for office, probably. I don't know him. I don't want to say bad, but I just, look, I mean, nobody's ever had a record like that.
And some of the evidence will be graphic. This preliminary hearing to decide whether 23-year-old Tyler Robinson will go on trial on charges of killing Kirk at an event in Utah last year.
It's not often when Auburn University and the University of Alabama are on the same side of an issue, but in a statement released today, both universities urged Washington lawmakers to reconsider the Protect College Sports Act. Alabama political correspondent Jessica Umbro explains why both schools say the bill could do the opposite of what it promises.
That's a good montage there, JP. Nice work.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's real good.
Mm-hmm. Really good.
So, let's just start at the top. Let's start at the top with HUD Secretary Scott Turner releasing a report that told us what our eyes had probably already seen, because you, friends, pay attention. And so you probably have recognized that since 2021, the foreign-born population accounted for more than 60% of rental demand growth. The rates were ridiculous as well. Is anybody surprised by that? And also, are you surprised that it took us so long to get the news that the growth was that ginormous?
No, this actually coincides. I don't even know if we went into detail, Allison, about the report you mentioned about the price of homes increasing because of illegal immigration. That's where I don't think, especially my generation, if they could see statistically how much illegal immigration makes things expensive, and not even just illegal immigration, but just immigration in general, how much more expensive it makes things, from housing to just prices altogether. I mean, you look at the rise of inflation too. I mean, it was because of a lot of other things, but with the wide open borders, if you could just put on paper how much illegal immigration makes things more expensive, I think the tone would shift amongst people who are like, well, they're just here. Oh, wait, that's how much more. Okay, get them out. I think it would really help the messaging problem with my generation of like, you can't afford a home because this is why 20% more from housing because of illegal immigration. That's why.
I feel like we overcomplicate things, and even our leaders and elected officials want to be like, we got to have laws for all this and the government needs to step in. No, it's pretty basic. It's supply and demand. It's basic economics class, which I hated, but I got that part. If demand goes up and supply stays the same, prices increase. You bring in millions of extra people to live here. You're not building housing. I mean, then we have this whole, people don't want to work. They're all on welfare. You don't have workers. It's this whole issue, but you get rid of those people and the excess demand to be able to supply for your citizens, which we talked about is the role of the American government to protect, or any country government. The first thing you do is protect your own citizens. That is not happening. And the New York Post said that immigration surge led to a 30% rise in home prices and a 20% rise in rent costs. That's significant. You are pricing out your citizens from being able to own homes, even find housing. It's wrong. And I don't know why Congress is we need to pass a housing act. No, get rid of the excess, lower interest rates. And it's pretty simple. Pretty simple.
On top of cutting red tape and keeping BlackRock from buying single family homes.
Now really that I can see. It's like, we do need some legislation for that. And maybe not, all these foreign companies like the CCP, foreign countries buying farmland. That's not good. BlackRock doesn't need a bunch of farmland. That's more difficult but we control monopolies all the time.
But what we don't need an Elizabeth Warren originated housing bill.
There's something we haven't talked about in a while. We've talked about the Great Replacement theory, which isn't theory. It is reality. And we haven't talked about BlackRock in that they are simply going along with and living out their beliefs, which go right along with the World Economic Forum, and you'll own nothing and be happy. So the dots are: flood a country with illegal citizens, give them the right to vote, make them dependent on the government. Oh, oops, they're going to have to rent. So too many dollars chasing too few things. Prices can only go up, pricing out the citizens, but you make a way for the people who are dependent on the government because you're always going to give the government a better deal. But we think that the World Economic Forum kind of disappeared because we only talk about them for a little bit of time every January. But be certain that their policies and their people are everywhere. And I think this is just one step further in their not only great replacement theory, but this is the end result where people can't afford anything but dependency. And it means they're more in control than they've ever been. That's the thing that is outrageous to me, is how quietly this happened. We were mocked for being concerned with immigration. We were mocked for wanting to send people to their home countries. And now we're here and we really need to do something about it. Just lowering interest rates alone isn't going to help. What choice do we have than to send people back and to get back right? But this is the World Economic Forum ideas just in live and living color. That's what this is.
Well, and this also, we had a discussion, I think it was early this year, when Trump said his comment that he wants housing prices to stay up and go up for the people who are homeowners to keep they've worked hard to earn these homes and all like that. On its face, I agree with, but I think that is totally missing the mark about what is actually driving up home prices, and it's illegal immigration. And people in the administration are smart, obviously, but maybe there's some people in the administration dragging their feet on deporting illegals, whether it's messaging, an optics problem, or they don't want their big ag and all the hotel workers to disappear. They lose all their cheap labor, whether it's for them or their friends, whatever it is. But that is where I think it's not like the 1950s or 60s. Home prices are up. I got rich. No, home prices are up because we've got the third world that came in and are taking homes from my generation. That is where I totally have an issue with the housing messaging in general, because I don't think it hits the mark. But now the question is it intentional, or are they just that clueless? Either are both are pretty bad. They're equally bad. If they're intentionally not deporting illegals for whatever reason, or they just are clueless and they think, 50-year mortgages, that's the answer. It's like, no, it's a lot easier than that. It's a lot, or maybe not easier. It's simpler than that. But I think that's where it's missing the mark. Yeah.
And as you're talking, I'm like, okay, not only are they not this administration, this Congress, which is controlled by the Republicans, not only are they not deporting like they said they would, but this housing bill, I keep going back to it, that, maybe there were I think there were some lines in there that said, okay, BlackRock can't come in and buy up all the single family housing. That's good. That's their talking point. That's what the messaging would be. But what they don't talk about is everything else that is in there that basically gave more control to the government, that shut down landlords from being paid. There were rent freezes. There were all these things that destroyed the housing market further. So it's a housing bill that's supposed to help housing, but really there was nothing in it that supported the people that own the houses or that rent, that would keep that housing market moving in a positive direction and increasing quality of life for Americans, or even the immigrants. I mean, the immigrants too aren't going to get their plumbing fixed because their landlords aren't getting paid. So it kind of makes you go, what are we doing? Is this really the uniparty? Because Trump was all for the housing bill. All these Republicans came out, housing bill, housing bill, housing bill. He switched for whatever reason. But like you said, they're not stupid. So what are we doing?
We're doing what we've done in education. We know education's in three: the top third, middle third, bottom third. And what always happens, we always slide to the bottom and we always go to the lowest common denominator. And we've done that with housing as well. Yep. We're sliding down. The third world is just happy to be here. And yet they're the ones bringing in their culture while we're demanded that we divorce ours. And so now we've got slums and they're just only going to grow. But here's my question for y'all. If you were the president, and you both would make great presidents, what would you do? What is your magic wand way to at least get us on the path to figuring out the housing debacle?
Do we have to be realistic?
No. Okay. This is the utopia the Democrats, the progressives claim to want. This is that utopia. But maybe an idea is workable. It doesn't have to be grounded in reality.
All right. This is a good exercise. JP, let's just go back and forth. First of all, you've got to mass re-migration. Go back to where you came from. You have to pause even legal immigration. 10 years at least. We got to pull it together.
Okay.
We got to pull it together. That would be step one.
I put that number one too. And by the way, I'll just add this caveat. There are reports that under Mark Wayne Mullen, ICE detentions are up. That's different than deportations. So it may be trending in the direction of deportations, but we'll just have to wait and see. I think number two would be either an executive order, or really, I just put my weight on Congress to do a single issue bill to keep equity companies like BlackRock and others from buying up single family homes. I think that would be, now that one would be a lot harder because you have to jump through all the hoops and get bipartisan support. So he may have even signed an executive order on that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but even if he did, that can just get by the next president. So I would work on getting legislation for that.
I think you have to deregulate some of the housing. You've got to remove the red tape and not irresponsibly, but you've got to allow the free market to work.
That's good.
Capitalism.
Yeah. I think that's really the big three for me.
No, you got to lower interest rates.
Yeah, you do have to lower.
And you have to stop spending money as the government. I mean, this is national debt stuff too.
Right. Well, I mean, that's a macro. Unfortunately, though, like we've seen with Trump, the president doesn't have as much authority over interest rates as they would like. I mean, you can put your weight on them and replace them when their term's up, I guess. But which Jerome Powell is in his term up soon. And he'll be out and somebody else will come in.
Oh, somebody else is in.
Yeah, they're already in.
There's a new guy.
Okay, well then we'll see. But I wish the president could do interest rates like that. But yes, that would be a massive.
I think the president aren't they appointed? Can't they remove
Yes,
them?
right. But if you have one like what Trump had with Jerome Powell, that's just like, no, then there's not really much you can do.
And remember, the Fed is not federal. That's just a name they gave. It's not part of the government. And yet they run the money along with the Bank of International Settlements. But that's another conversation for another day. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here is the list. You guys add to this list. Remigration, give it a good 10 years, 100%. A single issue bill that would prevent BlackRock or other companies like it from owning single family homes, because that also hurts investors, just mom and pop investors who want to invest in their communities instead of this behemoth who can afford to pay whatever they want, which cuts us out of the market. Deregulate housing, cut red tape, lower interest rates, decrease spending. That's a pretty banger list. That's actually very realistic if we were actually conservative.
Yeah.
And on this show, we are.
And I'll tell you what's not on the list: subsidized housing, rent freezes. Yeah.
Yep.
Those are not on there.
No.
Giving more money.
That's a good list.
Giving more money from HUD to blue states to bring in the third world on federal dimes. Yeah. It's not on there.
It's just not that hard. What company, if say we, this media empire that we've built, all right, we're like rolling in the dough. Okay. We're making millions here.
Can't hear you.
We get helicopters.
I got cash in my ears. I can't hear you.
We get helicopter to work, guys.
I mean, it's just unbelievable what we've done. Imagine if we operated in I don't know what the equivalent, $1 million deficit and couldn't pay our taxes. What would the government do?
We'd be in jail.
Yet our elected officials that love America are running us into the ground and saying, let's spend more. It's a great idea. Screw them. Maybe we should try it.
Go off, Sinclair.
I don't know. What are we doing? More montage?
More montage, allegedly.
Allegedly. On the other side.
Looking out about a 6-inch by 12-inch hole in the concrete they call a window in the pretrial detention center, which, by the way, is open air and it's March. It's cold. And I'm sitting there and I'm just bawling like a baby. I just can't stop crying. And I looked out that window and I said, I can't do this anymore. And when I said that, I asked God for some help. And he gave it to me. And has ever since.
Was it?
I said I wasn't going to act like that. So long story short, since that moment, I've never slept under a bridge. I've never missed a meal. I've never not had clothes on my back. Not one time since that started. So, and that was almost 16 years ago. February the 28th, 2011 was my last drink at 9:45 in the morning. And the only reason I know that is because that's when I got arrested. So I know they didn't let me drink after that point. But I got arrested driving down Roswell Road in Atlanta at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, going the wrong way, weaving in and out of traffic. And I remember none of this. I don't remember anything from the whole weekend. But I know that based on the wreckage of my car, I was drinking mouthwash, rubbing alcohol, and rum all at the same time. So that was the bottom for me.
So What factors would you use? You use the word miserable. Tell me about that misery.
You mean as far as the time when I was in that life?
That time that you were in the life and you said you were miserable.
I was miserable. I knew what I was doing was wrong. I knew that it was a no-win situation. I knew from my family history that I wasn't going to live long doing it, but I just didn't care because I tell people it's a dangerous place to be when you are drinking and doing drugs because you want to die, but you're also doing the drugs and drinking because you don't want to die. You get so far gone that you're nearly dead, and then you stop because you're afraid to die, even though that was your intention to start with. So it was almost like I was trying to just kill myself with alcohol because everything about my life wasn't bad, but when you're in that place, everything seems so dark and lonely. I call it hell because to me, hell is the absence of God. If you cannot feel God's presence or communicate with him, it's hell. And I lived there for a long time where nothing was bright, nothing was happy, nothing was positive. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. It was just drink, exist, go to sleep. Drink, make money, have power, have status, have all the stuff everybody thought was important, but I was still just rotten inside, completely rotten, to be honest. And it was just a really sad, lonely place to be. But I put myself there. It wasn't anybody's fault. It wasn't like I was a castaway from society. I chose to remove myself from all of that and decided that that was going to be my path because my father had 5 brothers. 4 of them all died from alcohol. My grandparents on both sides, and it was all before they were 40 years old. My grandparents on both sides, well, my grandfathers were both raging alcoholics, and they died before they were 40. One of them's buried in an unmarked grave in New Orleans, Louisiana. My grandfather never saw him. And if you look at my family history, it just goes back as far as you can find. People just didn't live long because they drank themselves to death. And in the last 5 years, growing up, I had 9 nephews and nieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 of them are dead, and they all died before 46, and they all died from drugs and alcohol, every one of them. So I get to see it on a regular basis. So I know where that road ends now, and I know where it was headed. I knew where I was going, knew what I was doing, but I just didn't care. Something happened in that jail cell where I kind of got a second chance.
If you could go back, I'm thinking of the people that are there. They're not in the jail cell yet, but they're on the floor at FedEx. What do you tell them to do? They know.
Yeah, I mean, if you know you've got a problem and you know that it's not going to lead anywhere positive, there are people in this world that can drink 2 glasses of wine and be perfectly fine. I am not one of those people. If you put alcohol in front of me, I'm going to drink it all, and then I'm going to go buy more. That's what I do. I drink and die. That's what people like me do. But if you know you have a problem and you're afraid of what's going to happen if you give it up, I say just give it up. And if you don't think you have a problem and you find yourself a regular drinker, give it up for 30 days. And if you can, you probably don't have a problem. Me, I couldn't do that. When I was put in front of me, it was like my godmother always used to say, it's not how much you drink, it's how fast you drink it. I would put down 6 beers to their 1, and they were fast drinkers. I mean, it would be nothing for me to be on a 15-minute drive and drink an 18-pack of beer. And I'm not exaggerating. Not exaggerating. That was when I was working and 30 years old. Nobody had a clue that, well, I mean, you had to be able to smell it. I mean, somebody had to be able to smell it coming out of me, but nobody said anything because I was really good at making money. Really, to be honest with you. I could make a lot of money for a lot of people, and it kind of got washed under the rug until that day was over, and then I couldn't make money anymore. Next thing you know, I'm looking around at people going, y'all don't know my background. You don't know what I'm capable of. I can work my way out of this. You can't work your way out of that. You have to take a step back. But I would say, never ever.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back. I'm Amy Beth. She's Allison, and he's JP, and we are the right side. And we're glad you've joined us today.
Not the wrong side.
That's not where we live.
Or the left side, which they're one and the same.
Yeah.
But
don't want to be losers.
We are here, Je suis là, because we said we're going with the French team. Anyway, that's why I'm saying it. I am here. A couple of stories we're going to talk about from the montage. Then we're going to get to allegedly. Then we're going to get to a new guest that we have not had the pleasure of meeting yet, Eden Gordon Hill. And it's about book clubs, but it's also about an op-ed she's written for the Washington Stand. Our friend Grace Baker keeps sending us the most amazing guests. We're excited about that. And we're going to talk about at the end of that, when we come back from our conversation with Eden, our book club. And we're like going to put legit dates. And I'm actually going to write down what I said so that we could book club live at the end of July, beginning of August. Let's make it after Will gets married.
Are we doing a special something for book club?
Yeah.
Like
we're going to figure out how to go live. That was your idea last week.
From like our back porch or something. I feel like we need
fun.
Spots of tea.
Oh, darling, I love that idea.
Yeah. And little glasses.
Oh, do you want to have the little tiny glasses that you just put on your nose? You know, the little ones?
So good.
You know?
I think so.
Little-
Maybe we wear our wigs again.
Oh, I'd love to wear the wigs. Are we going to be together or are we going to be separate?
Separate or together.
Do you think JP will be able to help us know how to do it?
No, JP just dipped out as soon as we started this.
I think so.
Shtick.
By the way,
He
I
said, I'm not reading anything.
I had Waffle House breakfast with my sister in Huntsville and this past weekend, and I was being funny. I was like, "Oh, did you see what we were wearing on the show for our Thursday?" She goes, "Yeah, your accent sucks."
Leave it to the little sister.
Like,
Yeah,
I know.
that's what I
okay?
wanted to say all day, but I just
Like, I know.
laughed instead.
It's fine. So we're going to do that. But first, we're going to talk about a few stories from the montage. And the first one is if you're a mom or a dad, because mainly moms take their kids to the doctor. I mean, it's fair. Chris only met me there when the kids were super puny, and one time we were going to have to take one of them straight to the ER. And so I was able to call him, and his office was nearby, and I was like, get here right now. And so it's fine when they're little, but suddenly something's happening across the country, and we wonder if this has happened to you too. But this mother in Oregon, and no surprise that it's Oregon, but it's in Alabama too, because 14 is the age of like medical consent.
Actually, that changed in 2025.
Sweet. What did it change to?
Well, in Alabama, it's now 16.
Sweet.
And I think that was a Susan DeBose bill.
Yeah, I think
we
you're
love
right.
you,
She
Susan.
comes through pretty solidly, but yes, 14 up until 2025. And we'll keep going with your story, but we need to talk through what that means.
Do we want to play the clip first and get y'all's reaction to it? For those who weren't watching the clip at the beginning of the show for the montage.
That's a good idea. Do that.
Okay.
Do that.
Got done taking my son to the doctor, and they tried telling me at the front desk that I don't have access to his patient portal anymore because he just turned 13. Are you kidding me? He is under the age of 18. He is my child. I should have access to what his medical stuff is. That is insane to me.
So the reason that this mother is locked out of her own kids' medical records is because of Democrats. Democrats passed what's called minor consent laws, and they kick in at age 13 in Oregon. So at age 13, minors gain the right to confidential care in certain areas without parental knowledge or consent. So here are those ages. At age 14, you can consent to mental health, drug, alcohol treatment. At age 15, you can consent to general medical, hospital, dental, or even surgical care. Think of that. At age 15, you can get surgical care without your parental consent. And at any age, you get full confidential reproductive health care, birth control, HIV, STI, and you get treatments for all these things. And this is all without your parent knowing. Here's what's really wild. These massive systems like MyChart and Epic, they actually default to kicking parents out at age 13 from their own kids' care. Just wrap your head around that. Who needs enemies when you have the Democrat Party?
I don't know who we blame it on in Alabama, but up until 2025, those were the laws in Alabama, except the age was 14. And even in Alabama, they've changed the general age of medical consent to 16. There are some exceptions, not conceptions, which might be an issue. And I asked several legislators, why in the world would you say a 14-year-old can make medical decisions on their own in the state of Alabama? Why did we start this law that was enacted like in the 70s? I think they said 78. Nobody really knew, but the guess was that it had to do with teenage pregnancies. and these girls wanting contraception, access to abortions, all these things. But a minor under 16 can still legally in Alabama potentially be able to consent to their own medical treatment if they are pregnant, legally emancipated, have graduated high school, live independently, and are not dependent on a parent for support, or are seeking certain services allowed by law, such as sexually transmitted diseases, substance abuse, and emergency situations. Think through all the things. Let's go back to Oregon. I think, is that what it said, JP? What a child at the age of 13 could do on their own.
They can't even get their ears pierced.
They can't get a tattoo. They can't buy cigarettes. They can't buy alcohol. They can't buy weed.
Can't drive.
They can't. Hello, they can't drive, but they can medically what?
Consent to health care, consent to surgery, consent to getting an abortion if they want.
Transgender surgery.
Transgender surgery.
Ruin their
That's
lives.
a yes.
Physically. Do
Vaccines.
irreversible damage.
Think about vaccines.
They can say yes to all of it. And even at the beginning of the conversation, I thought, well, this is ironic because this is where my mind goes. And I wonder if you thought the same thing, Allison. Yes, there's all the things that they can do apart from a parent, even though they can't get their ears pierced, drive a car. There's a lot they can't do. But the other part, they can't, like Allison said, no weed, no alcohol. They can't buy any of, they can't do that. They can't even sign themselves out of school. But I thought for the mom, I wonder if she asked the front desk right back. So I got my child to this appointment. You expect that I'm going to buy whatever prescriptions you've just prescribed for them. And what is it exactly that you were talking to them about without me present? What don't you want me to know? So you want all of these things like a trip in a car to the doctor. You want me to book the appointment and you want me to pick up the prescriptions, but you don't want me to know anything else. Oh, and don't forget, these same Democrats have allowed in Alabama even, and even as an adult, you may notice this when you go for your yearly checkup, they now ask you if you have firearms in your home. And for these kids, they feel free in many states to ask if they feel safe in their home. This is diabolical.
You make a good point. You bring up something that I didn't really think about till you said that, but who's going to pay for the medical procedures that they get?
I mean, because if you are to consent, you also still, based on healthcare, let's say you have United or Physicians Mutual or something like that, it's going to take an adult to sign off on it. So even though they can consent to it, the person who's paying for it also has to sign off.
But what if, let's say, I mean, if you can go in and get birth control, let's say, and that's essentially what it's saying, or you can get treatment for an STD, and your 13-year-old goes in and they get treatment. They bill it to their insurance because it's already on record from when they were 10 years old and under your care.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the residual leftover insurance bill sent to your house. You didn't know this was happening. Who does the insurance company come after?
The parents. You'll find out you're apologizing. You're not asking for permission.
So we had no say in that decision, but we are on the hook to pay for it, to cover it. And if not, I mean, you can be served with legal fines, legal fee. Okay.
When did you say that law passed in Alabama again? Wasn't it very
2025? So last session.
That's what I thought. I remember
last
when
year,
I
2 sessions ago.
when I was 14, so that's 9 years ago. So 2017.
Gosh, you're old.
I remember sitting in the doctor's office. I think it was with my mom there, and the nurse came in with a HIPAA form and said, you know, you need to fill this out. You can put whoever you want on there. I think that's pretty much all she said, was like, you can fill this out and you can put whoever you want on the list. And she kind of like walked out of the room, and I remember looking at my mom. I didn't even know what HIPAA was. I was like, what is this? And she was like, oh, whoever you put on there, you know, is who they can legally tell medical information to. I remember she goes, and you're putting me on, and like a harsh tone, but in my head I was like, yeah, duh. I was like, do I have to say that?
Yeah.
I mean, I put my mom, my dad, and then my grandparents, and then in case they need to take me, and that was it. But I remember thinking like, I'm a kid. I was like, am I not going to put my parents on the HIPAA form? I was like, okay. And that was it. But I just remember thinking it was so weird that was even a thing. Like, why wouldn't? Yeah, obviously I'm gonna put my parents on there, but they didn't. Literally, just can you imagine though, if I was a confused, blue-haired, furry 14-year-old.
You don't have hair, so
okay. Well, at the time I did when I was 14. But if she handed me that and like, you can put whoever on there, and then that's it, and then you're thinking, oh well, my mom doesn't accept my furry lifestyle. Maybe I don't want her to, or maybe my mom doesn't support me not wanting to be a girl. Maybe I won't put her on there. Like, that is insane to me. And then even 16 is a bit too. I mean, I understand the repercussions and the ramifications. There's a lot more, 16-year-old mothers and such different. But 14 in Red, Alabama, that it took up until last year. And then don't even think about the depravity of Oregon and others where they, the reasoning they wanted at 13. It's just insane to me. And why can't there be a federal law that's like, no, states can't decide this?
Do you know what's so weird is, okay, so my kids are tall, but I noticed that going in with Will and Molly before they took themselves to the doctor, and even with Molly, with one appointment that we still go to because it's fun and we go get Chick-fil-A when we're done, they will look at me and they're like, oh, are you mom? And they'll look at Molly like, is this okay? Now Molly's 19, but I find it odd that you switch over and, for example, go see somebody as an adult. And let's say you go to my husband's office. They're not going to ask you, because they're adult doctors, if it's okay that your spouse accompanies you, or your aunt, your uncle, your mama, your daddy. They never ask that. It is only when it's dealing with kids that it's okay, that it feels very subversive, as if I'm not going to pay the bill and as if I'm not the one and the reason why Molly got to that appointment. But it seems to only be with kids, not if it's an adult. Is it okay with I mean, they just think about surgery. They come back and they're like, mom, or they say the spouse of blah, blah, blah. Like, you just listen in rooms where surgeries are taking place. They just call people back like it's regular. But there's something unbelievably subversive going on when it comes to our kids.
I think as y'all are talking, I'm thinking this is exactly what they do with abortion. They're playing to the exception, not the rule. There probably are instances where kids are being neglected or abused, or have parents that aren't involved in their lives that won't take them to the doctor, or won't, whatever it is. Teeny tiny percentage. So I get that. But this is a very, very dangerous thing. And now I think in the political climate or cultural climate, forget politics, of 2026, especially in somewhere like Oregon, you're like, okay, yeah, they're transing my kid back there. There's definitely an agenda. Alabama, you still need to pay attention to it, because your child right now, there's several exceptions that were listed. They can go in and get medical treatment without you and then send you a bill. Here you go. Scary.
It's so scary. Is that abortion clinic still at that one, or right by the middle school in Huntsville? That was a big thing for a while. Do you remember that?
Oh.
I'll go find out if it's still in existence. Anyway, because there was a push to put health clinics in schools all across the country.
Yes, there was. I remember that.
So we'll do our homework on that. Maybe that's a plunge discussion for another day. But this isn't just Oregon, guys. Just like Mom Donnie's not just in New York, this isn't just in Oregon.
Do we want to do a quick allegedly? Because unfortunately, we can't push this break. We got to guess at 11:30.
How long is the guest? The guest will be until 11:45?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I guess we can end the show with allegedly.
We could end with allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm checking that off. And then, all right. Tyler Robinson laughs to lawyer in court, feet away from Erica while she's crying. Reportedly. Also, Candace Owens going on Sean Ryan. I may have to stop listening to Sean Ryan.
I think the most heartbreaking part of that whole hearing, did y'all see the judge's reaction watching the shot, like when it happened?
No.
And he like jumped. But I just think back because this is when I was with Phil, obviously. That happened about 10 minutes before the show. And all we saw was that Charlie Kirk was shot. And we're like, oh no, but we had to start the show. We didn't know anything. And I remember about the first 20 minutes of the show was always Phil's monologue. And I remember scrolling on Twitter, trying to find the latest and watching the video while Phil is in this montage monologue. And trying not to throw up in my chair. And I don't get queasy by anything, but I was like shaking and like I was trying not to throw up during the show. And I remember during the break saying to Phil, like, he's gone, like he's dead. And Phil was like, no, like he could be. And I was like, Phil, I saw the video.
There's no way.
He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Phil was gone the next day and I did a monologue on Charlie Kirk and I don't cry at all. And I remember sending it to break and just weeping like the whole break, like just the depth of evil. And then you think about the guy who did that laughing next to Erica. And then you think about the stuff Candace Owens is saying, but you get a glimpse because you kind of forget about how heavy it was. You get a glimpse when you see the judge's genuine reaction and you're like, oh yeah, evil really showed its face. And I feel like people just forgot or maliciously twisting it about Erica. Oh, Israel. No, like, you know what I mean? That moment, I remembered how I felt when I saw it and I go, oh yeah, what these people are doing to twist this into something else are evil and malicious, 100%. And on the fact, Tyler just is like laughing to his lawyer. Like, does he have any remorse? I don't know.
Evil. If you ever wondered, just like you said, JP, if there's good and evil, there is your sign. So I too remember where I was because Will texted me and said, Charlie Kirk has been shot. Chris and I were heading into a meeting. So I just quickly put that in. And that was that video is the first thing that showed up. And I had to do my best to pull myself together for our meeting. And you just knew in that instant, there's no way. There's literally no way he survived that. And to think that somebody like Candace Owens has spent the year defaming, degrading, deriding. That's evil.
What was the date? When was he shot?
September 10th.
September 10th.
Last year. You know what? I know exactly where y'all were because I saw y'all at that event at the club later, the day after, excuse me.
That was the day after.
It was the next day because I remember Amy Beth and Chris came over.
Wait, you were at that event?
Yeah, remember?
Yes, we were at the table and I texted you and I said, perhaps this is going to be our new producer.
Yep. And Amy Beth, because that's the first time I met Chris. And the first, like the icebreaker was, man, Charlie. And we talked about it, I remember.
Wow.
But anyways, that's the only reason I know where, the day after I saw y'all for the second time ever.
Yeah. I don't know why, whoever I was with, somehow Jared Hudson was around, or we were on the phone with Jared when it happened or something. And I guess we were asking him because I think people wanted to believe that maybe he would be okay. You saw him putting him in the car and taking him off, and you thought maybe there was some hope. But I remember Jared saying with where it hit him, he was talking about how it's so soft right there that you've got about 30 seconds, that it's just, that's about it. And I remember preparing myself that he wasn't going to make it. And I don't know in what world you can watch that and have really think, but I think it just was so unbelievable, unreal to watch that, literally unreal, that you're like, there's no way he can be gone.
But
it's so tragic.
Anyway, sorry to make it, but the reason I say that is because, like I said, the whole Charlie Kirk, I could talk forever about it, but the fact that it got twisted from a crazy leftist taking out Charlie Kirk in a politically motivated assassination in cold blood in front of everyone just because he didn't like what he said. And that got twisted. And Candace Owens and the others gave air cover to Tyler Robinson or actually supporting Tyler Robinson. I think it's a show trial because what? Because you're petty and you're upset that Charlie chose Erica over you. So now the story is not, wow, the left is getting violent. Now the story is Turning Point was in on it. Erica was in on it. Netanyahu is in on it. And Candace Owens is raking in the money off of it. But that moment you see the judge's genuine, like what happened, you're like, oh yeah, look what you just twisted it from, something evil into something, a conspiracy, like a Dateline, NBC conspiracy. What is Candace Owens going to accuse it today? And it's just so despicable, especially from somebody that claims to be Charlie's friend, But I remember that was the first thing I thought when I saw that judge's reaction of like, yeah.
I go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, are you looking something up?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just going to say that you brought up Sean Ryan and Candace going on Sean's show, and something has switched with Sean. I don't know, but did you see that Sarah Adams, the CIA, the boss girl that was awesome, that sat in with him and was doing a regular segment on his show, or they were doing a podcast together? She left. She's like, I'm no longer with Sean and his show.
He's becoming very cynical.
So Andrew Colvett put this out, and I thought this was interesting because I do pray that the people, and it seems to be our age girls and younger, who really think that Candace is telling the truth. But I want to remind you that the enemy of our souls is the one who comes to divide, devour, and destroy. He seeks those whom he may consume. And too many people have been consumed also by a girl who can't even half the time pronounce words on her show. All right. But Andrew Colvett said, Candace, you and Charlie were not friends. He managed you. He kept things light and polite so you wouldn't turn on the organization. Show me any proof of genuine friendship from the last 12 months of his life, from the last 18 months, from the last 24 months, not some 2018 text, something recent. You gave him anxiety whenever you called or texted, asking to speak at our events. He made me or Justin deal with you and George. This is why when you tried to hire me in February 2024 for PR, I agreed to go along with it against my better judgment because Charlie asked me to keep you close and protect you from the organization. This is your central foundational lie. You were not his friend. You are not his defender. You were his tormentor. And now you torment his wife and the organization he built. Candace, you are a fraud. That's what his actual best friend has to say about it this morning or last night.
Pretty strong words.
So I don't care what you think of Erica and the way that she responds. Her husband was shot in broad daylight and we saw it. How would you respond? And if you were his friend, that's not Candace Owens. That's not how you would respond. That's just evil. So whatever happens to Tyler Robinson, I hope it is the full extent of the law, and I hope he never sees the light of day ever again.
Are they back in court today?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, we got to keep up on that one. All right, when we come back, we'll be back with Eden Gordon Hill.
Yes.
I would like to have 3 names. Oh, wait, I do.
I'll tell you all the names.
Well, I mean, like, you sound really important. Like, I couldn't drop my maiden name because I'm so important, and I'm going to add on. So we'll be back with Eden Gordon Hill.
Because you have a problem with a substance or alcohol or a drug, it does not sentence you to a life of mediocrity.
It's good.
That's what I would say. There's always hope. And for all the, I run into people when I tell my story, and it's my son, my uncle, my husband, my father, my nephew, my God, whatever it is, there's always somebody. It's an epidemic of biblical proportions, addiction is. Whether it's addiction to the internet, to your cell phone, to drugs, to alcohol, to porn, to whatever it is, everybody's got some vice. But my best advice to people would be just you got to be able to hold on to that hope. Just give it some time and see what your life turns into without it.
So what do you say, not just to the people who are on the floor of their FedEx office, What do you say to the people who are living with addicts? And is that a fair word?
It is absolutely a fair word. I would say it would be a great question to ask my first wife, but I haven't talked to her in 20 years. So I wouldn't say she would probably know how to answer that. But I will say that a lot of times in the recovery community, they work a lot with the spouses and the loved ones in things like Al-Anon and things like that. And they teach them how to cope with that person's alcoholism. And to a point, I agree that that is probably an easy way to ease into somebody into sobriety. But sometimes it just takes a major act of defiance or a slap in the face to make you wake up. Not telling anybody to do that, but what I am saying is that there's a fine line between condoning something and tolerating something. So if you're condoning it, that's one thing, but if you're only tolerating it and it's making you miserable, then unfortunately, statistically speaking, not many people that get to that point come out of it. They don't stop. Or if they do stop, they don't stop for very long. So that's a very tough battle to pull as the person involved with the person as well as the person who is in the addiction. I'll give you a statistic that I used to tell at meetings in my story. And it's true. Of every 100 people who walk into an AA meeting and say, I have a drinking problem, 3% of those people are going to make it to 90 days sober. 3 out of 100. That means 97 aren't. Of that 3% that make it to 90 days, 3% of those people will make it to a year. Of that 3% of 3%, 3% of those people will make it to 2 years. And the number goes down, down, down. Statistically speaking, once the first time in your sober life that you have a greater than 50-50 chance of staying sober is at 5 years. And not many people make it that long. Up until that point, you're at 49.9, 49.91, 49. You've got almost 50, but that's when you break 50.1% chance, statistically speaking, of staying sober for the rest of your life.
So I guess the opposite side of the same coin of that question is what, and then I know we want to move on to kind of, you've done so much since then, but what did anything but God, which you talk about, if you're on this side, if you're the spouse or the child or the family member, was there anything that ever got to you, that actually got through to your heart or your head that they did? What is it that they can do, shouldn't do? What's the worst thing you can do?
You know, long before I quit drinking, I can remember my mother having conversations with me when they were still alive, which is many, 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 many years ago. And I would come over to dinner 2 or 3 times a week and eat dinner with them, or we'd have a steak or they'd cook it out. And one time she said, don't come drunk. And I was always drunk. I never knew she even knew that I was drinking. She said, your dad can smell it on you and it kills him. And so I didn't go. And I still remember that.
So is it come drunk, we love you anyway?
Again,
do you know what I'm getting at?
What you're saying.
It's a really good question.
It's a hard, it just so depends on the situation and the person. You know, and I was never a belligerent, angry, violent drunk. When I was wasted is when I seemed normal to everybody else. When I wasn't intoxicated, I was a dull person. Let's just put it that way. I had a therapist tell me at one point that I had become what was called, I believe they said anhedonic, which is, anhedonia is when you have to have an external substance to feel emotion. So I didn't feel happy, sad, angry, overjoyed, depressed, anxious without alcohol. Without it, I was just a shell, basically. But when I drank, I felt normal. I had drank for a long time to get to that point. So if they're belligerent drunks, then yeah, stay away. If they're abusive, no tolerance for that whatsoever. And most people, a lot of times that happens. Fist fights, throwing things, you know, that kind of stuff. I never was that guy. Not on purpose. But it's hard to say. You know, it really just depends on the situation. So and it depends on how long it's going, depends on what kind of relationship you have. If they are drinking at you, they sure don't want to hear it from you if they think you're the problem. No. Like if an alcoholic thinks that they're like me, my first marriage, it was my wife's fault. She didn't work. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. She did everything that I asked her to do, but she didn't do extra things. So it was always going to be about.
Hey, how are you? Welcome back. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP, and we are the Rightside. We are excited to be joined by our next guest, Eden Gordon Hill, who is, hey, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're good. So, you know what? Quick question. Where are you based?
I'm based in Eastern North Carolina by Camp Lejeune Marine Corps Base.
All right. So you are a military spouse. You have, in addition to, I mean, my word, you've done so many things in communications, morning radio show host, and pray.com. But something new, I guess that I don't know how new it is, but it's fabulous, is you've started the All-American Book Club.
That's correct.
Tell us how that got started and how it's going.
Sure. So the All-American Book Club is named for my husband's military service. He served in the United States Army, retired out of Fort Bragg. And as many people know, in the veteran and military space, the All-American is based out of Fort Bragg. And so that's just very important to us. The All-American Book Club was also founded by WMAL.com. And one of their producers saw my podcast I had started right after I had ran for elected office from the state of North Carolina. And I had a love for books and a love of patriotism. And you bring the culture and intersection of patriotism and faith together. And voila, you have a pro-America book authors. And they loved what I was doing on the podcast and said, we want to give you a show on WMAL.com. And that's where the All-American Book Club officially started. It's we're now in its third year. And then more recently, earlier this year, pray.com picked up the show as well.
Oh, that's fabulous.
We've talked about starting a book club, and I really could use you in my life because I want to be a reader so badly. But I'm so bored half the time. How did you pick the books? How did you I mean, what do y'all study? Is it a monthly? You go through a book a month? Or how do you get people like me to read? Because I actually just picked up Brian Kilmeade's George Washington and the Secret Six. I loved it. So is that kind of what you're looking at? Are you a little deeper than that? What do y'all do?
So we do a little bit of everything. So it's a weekday show. Every Saturday morning, we talk about a new book. And on pray.com.
Wait. We have to read a book a week?
Yes, I do 7 books a week because every morning on pray.com, I air an episode of a book author at 7 a.m. every morning. So you guys know Grace, who's my booker and producer. And she sits there and just laughs at me because I read about 7-8 books a week and just plow through them. But I have a love for reading. I always have. It was my safety net growing up. I was never the cool kid. And I found a love for American history, our first ladies, and just a love of diving into understanding more about our American history. And that came from my father. My father was a local elected official in the great state of Pennsylvania. And instead of are you from Pennsylvania? And
born in Hershey, yeah.
Okay, Chester County. So you were north of Chester County, but that's where part of my life was. And being able to be involved in local politics, I started out at 13 on the campaign trail with my father and just fell in love with American history. And so I found a resource. I found a safety net. I found a place of rescue and a place of adventure in reading. And I had a learning disability at a very young age of dyslexia. So, when people sit there and say it's really hard to sit down and read, I basically taught myself. And then coming fast forward to having all of these books on the show, it's really diving into who the person is and who wrote the book, whether it's autobiographical, whether it's fiction, whether it's historical fiction, romance, or whether it's all about pro-America authors who are wanting to shape and change culture. And so those are all the different topics we talk about. But for you to get more involved in reading and sitting down, I honestly, we see such an issue with understanding and education and reading and the literacy rates in our elementary and high school graduates. And so that is something, I combat daily when I sit and talk to my authors, whether it's elementary education authors or whether it's those who've been writing books for years. where we can bring history back to life. We can bring an understanding back to life for people to sit down and say, oh, wow, this actually happened. Because you guys, we all grew up in the same generations and we didn't learn half of this.
Right.
We were not taught this in public school education. It was not a part of that. What was a part of that was something completely different. And so it's an honor to be able to be behind the microphone every day and every Saturday morning to talk about these powerful stories of our faith and our history.
So I am like you. My mother, I got up too early and she didn't want to get up that early. So that's where my reading began.
Yeah.
And so I completely agree with you that it is a wonderful place to go and to get lost.
Mm-hmm.
But you brought something up that is so interesting. And last week we talked about this, about Victor Davis Hanson remarking that, even now, but years ago, he noticed that kids coming into high level universities couldn't even read.
Yes.
And so shouldn't we go back to reconsidering what the curriculum is first in our schools, and then also making sure that we're including accurate history instead of Howard Zinn's revisionist history?
Yeah, well, I agree with both of those, but let me add one other thing that he may have not mentioned: cursive. Okay, let me just highlight this. And you guys are shaking your heads, so I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So just about a month ago, we hosted my godson's graduation party, graduated from high school. And I wrote a personal note to him of just, congratulations, I'm proud of you, in cursive. And he embarrassingly said to me, I can't read this. He's like, I love you and I'm so grateful that you gave this to me, but I can't read this. And I looked around the room and his mother said, yes, this has been an ongoing thing in the public education system where these kids do not know how to write cursive nor read cursive. And then somebody else in that room, it was a room of 20, 30 people. And another person then said they're reinstalling that back in the public school system for kids to start learning again. But we've lost a generation. We've lost a generation of the cursive writing, but we've also lost how many generations, and our generation included, on the true values of American history. If you do like the Jesse Waters beach interview questions, they don't know who George Washington is. They know what they know what Taylor and Travis Kelce did this weekend, but they don't know who our first president was, and that he was a farmer, and that he preferred to be a farmer instead of our first president. A lot of people don't know these historical preservations and these stories. And so for us to reignite that mission of patriotism, I take that as a personal mission. I've had combat veterans come to my show who fought in Iraq with my husband, pilots saying, I'm now raising this next generation, and they don't know what it is to serve. They don't understand what I did. They don't understand what our fathers did and our grandfathers did. How are we going to carry the torch of freedom when they are not being? So for your audience who are listening, and if they are veterans or active duty, tell the stories to your kids. Tell the stories to your grandkids. They need to hear the powerful stories of our freedoms, because that Statue of Liberty, going off of what Mondami's doing to my city, I take it personally. Not be there much longer if he continues to put up and do what he's doing. And I know this is a faith show, so I'm going to watch my mouth, but I have a little Jersey in me too.
We have sometimes we do some characters, and I have Judy from Jersey, so we should talk.
Oh, honey, get out the bagels and the locks. Let's do it.
I might change your name to Eden from Jersey.
I think you should.
But Eden, it's so I'm listening to you talk, and I didn't know this for the longest time, but my grandfather, actually, he met my grandmother. They didn't know it, but they both were working on the atomic bomb in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And they just, I so regret they've both passed away. I never sat down with them and got the stories. I mean, can you imagine? And honestly, I wish I had focused more on history. I just thought and probably like so many of our kids' age do, that's in the past. I want to know about AI. I want to know about whatever the next big thing is. But I'm curious if you're sensing the same thing. It seems like there's a little bit of a return to roots, like gardening. I mean, we both have had chickens. I mean, it sounds so silly, but just to kind of literally get back and touch dirt, touch grass, get outside, learn your history. And you spoke about schools that are getting rid of Chromebooks and going back to pencil and paper.
Yeah.
Do you sense that as well, that there's an appetite for kind of going, whoa, we need to go back a little bit?
There is an appetite. And I'm going to cite my godson again, who's going off to college in the fall. He absolutely loves antiques. And his generation are turning back to the record players and turning back to the preservation of history and the museums and the museum pieces. But it's not just him. He's not, the extreme. There are so many others who are wanting to do this. So yes, there is a sustainable community, and depending on our communities versus depending on government. And I see that so much in the military community I get to be a part of. And we have veterans, we have active duty, but we all depend on each other, not the government. We don't look to the government to fulfill us, to tell us, oh, I need to keep my air conditioner on 78 while City Hall has it on 64. No, we go back to depending on each other and our faith in God and leaning in to help one another and going back to the roots. Okay, let's have eggs. Let's have chickens. Let's have horses. Let's live off the land, because that's what our forefathers did. Look how healthy they were. They weren't living off of McDonald's. No offense to Trump, but farming is a lot better than McDonald's. So yes, I think there is a return to just the foundations, the raw aspects of our culture. Again, it's culture and politics coming back together. And how are we in the public square going to make a bigger impact on that?
So as we start our own book club, the advice. Well, and we're going to start with George Washington.
Longer than a week, though. Like I need baby steps into.
We'll do it in a month. Because one of my kids is getting married, and so I need until after.
Right, I got 4 weeks.
Okay, so what's your advice for us? Because clearly you're the pro.
For a book to start off with?
Well, we've got our book. We're going to do George Washington's Secret Spies, whatever it is, Allison.
Secret Six. Wait, I'm already done with that one. So
I know. So you're ready for it. But what are you going to tell us? How are we going to conduct ourselves with this book club? Do we just reach out to our audience? Like, tell us how we're going to do it.
So what I would say is, if you're going to focus on the rest of summer, call it the summer of patriotism, because I put a book list together for our national audience where it focuses on kids' books, it focuses on adult books, it focuses on history books and historians who've written these powerful books of Washington, World War II, all of your different wars, and focusing on military veterans and these powerful voices of faith and freedom. So what I would do is take that list, and they can find it on my link tree on All American Book Club on Instagram. You can click on the list and you can download it and see everything from The Battlefield and Blessings by Jane Hampton Cook, which is all about George Washington, to The Brunswick, which is a powerful World War II fiction book talking about two lives coming together during the time of World War II. It's a Southern novel, and it's the first novel that this author has written by Callie Murray. Powerful story. And then you also have Honor Flight, 21 Steps, The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, Finally Home, 3 military children's books written by 2 different authors, both best-selling book authors. I would highly recommend you lean into some of those. And then if you are wanting escape, if you're wanting from sea to shining sea for your mountain, excursions, your beach excursions, there are so many different powerful authors at Bethany House, Bethany Publishing. You also have HarperCollins. They have partnered with our show. And I would say go pick up A Song in the Dark. It's about a blind pianist during World War II. World War II has such a popular time period in our nation's history in these books. But then also Jamie Jo Wright, who's another author, has a book out more focused on the Civil War time period. So that's another one I would pick up. And then also, as you were focusing on maybe some adventure books, you have, oh my goodness, The Sky's the Limit. Irene Hannon, who is another powerful author, and she's a faith author. I love how they threaten faith, but then they also talk about hope. They also talk about adventure. Debbie May Comer is a huge partner to the All-American Book Club. Her book that just came out talks about passing on the gift of kindness, paying it forward. It's called Chasing the Clouds Away. She's a New York Times bestselling author. If you want to start out with something fun, romantic, with faith, and a call to action, I would recommend Chasing the Clouds Away by Debbie May Comer. It literally just came out. And I'm sitting here with a sneak peek of a ton of books that just came out that have not been released to the public. And I'm sitting on pins and needles because I cannot wait to share them with the audience.
Okay. So if we go back to All American Book Club and we check out, do you have an app? You have a website?
Yes. So if you go to, really easy, Instagram, All American Book Club. Gotcha. You click on my link tree, you will see in there the Summer of Patriotism book list. You can follow us at All American Book Club because we do daily updates on all of the authors that have come to the show. You get to see really quick behind the scenes. And then also if you go to YouTube at All American Book Club, we post clips every day. This morning we posted John A. Jackson's Summer of 71, a reporter who was covering during the Nixon Watergate scandal. Ooh. And what it was like to be a reporter during that time period in the media and then comparing it to what it is today. There's so many parallels during the summer of 71 and 2026. Oh. So you get to see these clips on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Eden Gordon Media, and then also at pray.com, Eden Gordon Hill. You can see all of them there each and every morning at 7 a.m.
All right. Got it. We're writing down feverishly.
We are.
I gave you a ton of homework. How does that sound?
We're all for it. Just give me some time to get it all together and I'll start going on the list. Eden Gordon Hill, 3 names. I might start using my 3 names. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. We're gonna start the book club and some coffee talk.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said coffee because you need the coffee. You need to get the Zabar's coffee, have it shipped to your house. It is one of my favorite coffees on the west side. Zabar,
Zabar. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Zabars.
We'll have to talk again.
We have so much to do.
Can't wait to dive in.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to come back, and it's so great to be with you guys. God bless you.
Hey, stay in touch and let us know when you can reveal the new books.
Oh, that'll be really soon.
Like
right around the corner. Right around the corner.
The corner. I love it.
All right. Well, we'll talk soon. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
See you later.
Thank you.
Oh,
okay, that was fun.
What a delight.
That was so much fun.
What a delight.
I love that she just came out and said she's Jersey. That Jersey girl can come out.
It's so wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
She was cute.
All right. Well, I'm inspired.
She reads a book a day.
I gotta step it up.
I can't do that.
All right. I'm gonna see what I can do.
I felt like 2026, like I crossed it off because I finished one little Brian Kilmeade book.
Yeah, we're starting baby steps to a book you've already read first.
That's about as much as I can do.
So then we'll give you the next book and you can start reading that. You'll just be like 2 weeks ahead every week.
All right, listen. All right, listen. We don't have enough time. Okay, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do allegedly, and we're gonna do allegedly real fast.
Allegedly.
I don't even remember what I was gonna talk about. Y'all, somebody else start.
Okay.
I can start with mine if y'all would like.
Okay. That'd be great.
Now, allegedly, I don't know. Well, I know y'all have seen it. I'm sure some of our audience has seen it too. But allegedly, there's reports that Mitch McConnell is brain dead. And by the way, I'll stop to say thoughts and prayers to Mr. McConnell and his family. But the allegedly question is, why do we keep having people in the Senate who are on the verge of death? Like, why? Why do we keep electing these people who, and this is respect to Mitch McConnell, because I do think he wants to die, or maybe he does, but why would he want to spend his last days in DC being wheeled around, looking miserable? Wouldn't he rather spend that time with his family and being home and resting? But on the flip side of it, we talk about Joe Biden and the state of him while he was president, but yet Republicans keep hanging on to people who are in the same condition. And is the other part of it, which I think this one right here is going to bring up, but they may be dragging their feet so that they don't have to have a special election and wait till past the deadline to make the announcement that he is actually brain dead, which is despicable within itself. But there's so many layers to the story where, like I said, first of all, thoughts and prayers to Mitch and his family, seriously. But why do we keep voting for people who are on their way out, quite literally?
That is such a good question.
Well, you see this, there is a lot to that because, I mean, you have to wheel him around the Capitol. You have to keep him looking alive because if he resigns and goes home to spend his last days, then you have a special election and then Thomas Massey could run or somebody you don't like. But here's the thing. Allegedly, if they can drag this out and not let anybody know, then they can just appoint their chosen one to replace him and continue on the Rhino Love Fest. Then you throw in that, they found him in cardiac arrest. He's been in a coma. He's been brain dead. But John Thune said he spoke with him on the phone.
He spoke with the ghost of Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
This is Weekend at Bernie's, but Mitch McConnell style.
Complicit in this cover up.
That a lot of people are complicit, my friends.
Then his wife, Elaine Chao, went to China. She's still there. There's lots of layers. It's not looking good.
Miss Sinclair,
did y'all hear that apparently, allegedly, Kash Patel found hundreds of documents on Seth Rich. Y'all remember Seth Rich?
Oh, yes, I do. Wasn't he taken out?
He was killeried.
He was killeried. That's right. I remember him.
Well, they found a bag. This is straight out of a movie. They found a bag in a hidden room in the FBI headquarters, and it was mixed with burn bags designated for destruction. So they have found a big old pile of poo on Seth Richie Poo and his killeridness. Now, praise Jesus, they found it and they didn't burn it. But this is going to be nuclear on Capitol Hill.
Now, whatever happened to the files on the 2020 election that they found in burn bags?
It's in that burn pile.
Did they accidentally burn it?
I think it accidentally, allegedly, maybe mistakenly was burned.
You don't say.
Kind of like Fort Knox.
Yes.
Those gold bars are gone.
And the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
That's so mysterious.
Oh, you know what I heard this week too? Real quick. Do we go to noon? Or we go 11:55?
Well,
we go to noon.
Okay.
Real
quickly.
Good.
Somebody told me that the Trump administration is that the reason they're not releasing the Epstein files is because they want to be able to use it as leverage over people.
Well,
are y'all buying that?
Yes. Yes, I am.
It's not because they want to cover it up for their friends.
I think that Republicans can hold things over people's head, and maybe this is the first time they're doing something good. But we still need
like an excuse to me.
Well, I still want the files to come out, but it could be. How about we'll just leave it at it could be. I don't know if it's true or not.
Anywho, made me think about the red card overturning.
Well,
hey, Infantino is really good friends with Howard Lutnick. And we know he's all up in those Epstein files, allegedly.
He was on the island.
He was on the island.
Well,
Still
y'all,
lost.
I just need to get into my real deep Southern voice. And there's nothing like beating a dead horse. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. I just wanted to let y'all know real quick, because if I had my silver spoon, I would have bought it from a microphone. So just pretend that this is a silver spoon.
Well, here, this works.
Oh,
It's
thank
basically
you.
a silver
Thank you.
spoon because you're half white and have an American flag.
Thank you. So, what I wanted to tell y'all real quick is, I don't know if that Mom Donnie character knows how to read a room very well, but he had the audacity to sit in front of the George Washington desk, and maybe it goes both ways. I have no idea.
It swings both ways.
It swings both ways,
drawer.
and take from that what you will. But what I thought was interesting is that it turns out that Kwame, who his middle name is after an African dictator, it seems so funny because he assails capitalism and yet lives large everywhere he goes. He went to a $60,000 a year private school. Did y'all know that growing up?
Where?
And then in New York City. And then he went to a very elite public school in New York City. His wife just took a $3.4 thousand luxury escape, as you saw yesterday, Allison, to go check out the plants of the Koran. It turns out he's from an upper caste Indian family, and they had to leave Uganda and come here when he was 7. And he's been here ever since, but he's doing the things he criticizes. And I just wondered if he didn't know that we've caught on. And maybe it's because of his audacity that people are starting to wake up. Because like Eden Gordon Hill, our guest, said, he's telling everybody else that they need to leave their air conditioner, I think said at 72, maybe even 74.
78.
78, that's right. Oh, my word. That's beyond what Chris
hot.
Shaver even says. But
That's
said
hot.
at 78, and then they go in their little city hall, and they got it on at 64 so everybody could be comfortable. I just wanted to thank Kwame Mandami for being the thing that I think is going to wake people up to Islamo-communism. So to Kwame Mandani, I like to say thank you. Today, I just wanted to say thank you. You're a giant hypocrite, but it's because of your boldness that people are waking up going, I don't think so. Because that man's born with a silver spoon in his mouth and he's gone lecturing us. Can you imagine how that go down in the South? What would we say to him? Meet us out back.
Bless your heart.
Well, me and Chris, since we're from the same hood, we'd say, I'll meet you at Goddard's at the parking lot at 3 o'clock. Everybody went to fight at the Goddard's market. I wonder if Chris knows that.
I bet he does. I bet he's texting right now.
It's funny.
Chris from Stereo.
So funny. Well, Donnie.
Mom
He just,
Donnie.
can he go back to Uganda? Will they let him in?
No,
or
because
is
they
he
don't like his
banned?
family.
Well, how does an Indian get to Uganda?
That's a great question. I don't know. I just know that they were ruling it
By boat?
probably by boat. They went over there, and then the Ugandans were like, y'all need to get out. And they did. And now they're here trying to terrorize us. And we say, not so fast, Kwame.
Zoran?
Kwame Mandami.
I like Kwame.
I like Kwame too. Just remember, he is an African dictator, and his daddy or mama named him in honor of a dictator because they thought that's what he would do. And we say, not so fast, dingle dip.
Is he really Epstein's child?
He could be.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
You remember that story? Do y'all
I do.
remember that, or did I make that up?
Well, I thought that was the AIs generated a picture that said he was Epstein's child, but no one knows for sure.
Well, y'all, we'll see you tomorrow. It's Wednesday. We got, maybe if I can pull it together, we got Hot Flash News on Wednesday. What else we have? We have somebody else. Who else is coming on?
We have Kim Miller. She's from Arizona. She's talking about
Bethany.
the importance of Bethany Miller. I'm
Kim
sorry.
Miller is my old neighbor.
Yes, it's Bethany. She's going to talk about the importance of the midterms and women getting out to vote.
Women, should we vote?
I don't know. We should ask her.
That 19th Amendment was a doozy.
If only we were not so emotional.
But Woodrow Wilson was so cute.
Oh, he was.
Okay. Y'all, we'll see you tomorrow. Toodles.